So a few weeks ago, I was on Pinterest as usual, looking for do-it-yourself Christmas decorating ideas, and I came across this one that looked super cute and creative, but also looked cheap and easy to do. So I went to Michael's, my favorite go-to craft store, and I got all of the things to try to recreate it. So this is my first time doing it. I haven't done it before, but I am going to attempt to recreate it for you guys, and let's fingers crossed that it will all work out great. So the first thing that you're gonna need to do is put on some tacky Christmas stuff. So I got my tacky Christmas earrings and my tacky Christmas shirt and my favorite Christmas leggings that are so soft and warm. It's like wearing a sweater on your legs. So that is the first thing that you're gonna need to do. It's a must. You have to do it. Sorry. Second thing you're going to need to do is get all your supplies. So first of all, you're going to need either black construction paper. I picked up black foam. It's just a big sheet of black craft foam. So this is going to be for your eyes, for your mouth, and for the buttons. Then you're going to need some sort of a mold to help you draw the circles to cut the eyes out. So if you have like an actual stencil of different size circles, that's great. If you don't, you can go house hunting and search all around your house, and I'm sure you have a gazillion and one different size circle things, anything from coins, check your pantry, any cans, jars, vases, anything. I'm sure your beauty products, tons and tons of stuff that you could find different size circles, and just choose the one that you think would be the appropriate size. I picked for the eyes, you're going to want a little bit of a bigger circle, so I picked my salt. I feel like that's a really great circle to put on a door for the eyes, so I'm just going to trace the bottom of the salt. And then for a slightly smaller circle to do the mouth and the buttons, I have my mousse, and I'll trace the bottom of the mousse. But find whatever you have in your house that is an appropriate size circle and go with it. The next thing that you're going to need is an orange piece of construction paper for the carrot nose. You're going to need some type of ribbon. You can get whatever type you want. I like this one. Thicker is like, this is a good size thickness. And this is going to be the snowman scarf. And then you're going to need something to trace with. I grabbed a pen and a pencil. We'll see which one I like better. Something to stick it on the door. Or you could always do your refrigerator if you have a white refrigerator. This could work either way for white doors or white refrigerators. So I picked up glue dots, and they're not the permanent ones. They are the removable dots. Please do not get glue dots that are permanent and stick them on your door. I will not be held responsible for any damage that may be done to the paint job. And then last but not least, scissors. You'll need scissors. Oh, and one last thing I forgot that you're also going to need is a ruler or any type of a straight edge. I like the ruler because it has the measurements on it so you can make it even, but you're going to use this for making the triangle on the orange piece of paper. Okay, so for our prep work, we're going to start by tracing the eyes of the snowman with our largest circle. So I'm just going to put him down on top of the black paper. Whoops. And then trace a line all the way around. And you can put like some extra pressure if you're using the foam to kind of make a dent in it, so it'll be a lot easier to see where to cut when you go to cut. And after you made one, just make another one, so we'll have a total of 2 large circles. Okay, and then once you're done with that, then we'll work on making the small circles. And you can vary the amount of buttons and the amount of dots you want for the mouth. For my purposes here, I'm going to do 4 small dots for the mouth, and 3 buttons. But do however many that you want to do. You can be creative with this. Okay, so now that I went and traced all of the circles, this is how they look on my paper. So, you know, it's good enough to be able to see where to cut. And then over here is the big circles. So now you're just going to take your scissors and just start cutting the circles out of your foam or paper. Okay, so I cut out the first large circle and the first small circle so you can see the size difference once it's actually cut out. They're not perfect, but you know what? Perfection is overrated. So whatever, go with it. If you can make a perfect circle, 2 thumbs up for you. So now I'm just going to go ahead and cut out the rest of the circles. Now we're ready to grab the orange piece of paper and our ruler and a pen or a pencil, and we're going to trace out the line for the nose for our snowman. Okay, so make sure that the bad side that you don't want showing is face up on the side that we're going to trace on, so that way it's not showing up on the wall. This will be like face against the door, so we'll be seeing like the nice side of it. And so I actually kind of like that it has this strip here because it allows me to find the center point pretty easily. So I'm just going to mark right in the center where my start is going to be. And then you're going to take your ruler and go from the center. Let's see. I think right about there will be good. So now I'm just going to trace a line from here all the way to the end. Okay, so that's what my line looks like after I drew it. Now I'm going to take my ruler and put it back on the center point. And now I'm going to draw in the opposite direction all the way to the end, so that way we'll end up with a nice triangle. Okay, so my initial line, I felt like the carrot was a little bit too small, so even though I said you can use pen or pencil, the pencil really is better because you can redo your line and erase it, although even if you use the pen, you can still remake another line since this won't be showing when it's up. So yeah, I just readjusted my ruler, made it a little bit wider, and then redrew my line so the carrot is a little bit fatter. So now I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out. Okay, so I cut it out and lined everything up, and this is basically what our snowman face is looking like so far, and then the 3 extra for the buttons. So now I'm going to go measure my door and measure out the ribbon. Okay, so this is the door to my bedroom that I'm going to make my snowman out of. It's perfect because my door is white. Before you put everything on your door, I would recommend taking just like a wet cloth and wiping it down so any like dirt or whatever's on there is off and you're working with a clean yet dry surface. Make sure it's dry before you go sticking stuff on there. Okay, so I already measured out the scarf for the door. So what I did is I just measured from one end to the other, starting right here on top of the door handle, and then just went to the other side right here, and then I cut it so it's pre-measured. And then for the little like ends hanging off of the scarf, I just eyeballed it and cut, you know, 2 pretty equal length ribbon, so that way it'll end up being like that. Okay, so now we should have everything already pre-cut, and we're ready to start sticking stuff on the door and making our adorable little Frosty the Snowman. So this is where the glue dots are going to start coming in handy. I'm gonna emphasize it again one more time. Use the removable ones and not the permanent ones. Okay, so if you've never used glue dots before, they're pretty easy to use. All you have to do is just put your thing down on a hard surface, and then you're gonna like roll this over them, and they should stick. See, like that. They can get a little frustrating sometimes if they're not coming out the way you want, but for the most part, you just gotta put a lot of pressure. That's why I said to do it on a firm surface. I'm trying to do it in the air, and it's not working too well. All I'm gonna do is just kind of surround my dot with the glue dots, and then I'm gonna stick it on there. Okay, so this is what it looks like, and now I'm gonna go stick it on the door, and I'm gonna take both so I can kind of measure it out and see where it's gonna look good. So I think that looks pretty good right there. So then you just press it on, and then do the same thing with the other one. Put glue dots all around the circle, and then press it on. Alright, so now we have our eyes on. I think they're pretty even. The camera's at kind of a weird angle, but there we go. Now we're going to do the same thing with the nose. Just put the glue dots all around the border and then stick it on. So that looks about good right there. Alright. Now we're going to do the same thing we did for this. Now we're just going to do our mouth, and then I'm not going to do the buttons yet though, just the mouth. And make sure you try to align them up so they're pretty even, and not looking awkward or like awkward space gaps and stuff like that. Okay, so now that we have our face done, we're going to glue on the scarf. So for the scarf, I only put the glue dots on the top and the sides, and I left the bottom without any glue dots. So it will be easier to, when I do the little tassels on the scarf, to kind of stick them up and hide them underneath. So now we're just going to put this on here. That is where we're at right now. These I'm going to stick underneath here, just like that, and then put them on with glue dots. And I only did the top right here. And this one is going to go right there. And if you want, you can glue dot the sides and the bottom, but I just left them kind of loose to make it look more like a scarf than if it was like the whole thing just like pressed down flat. So now the only thing left before our snowman is done is to put on some buttons. It's the exact same thing as the mouth, except we're just gonna stick them right down the middle there. Okay, so I went ahead and put the buttons on, and I needed to move the scarf a little bit because it was like hanging over. So it was not a big deal. I just took it off, the glue dots came right off, and I just put on some new ones and moved it over. And this is what it looks like when it's all done. And that really wasn't that hard. It didn't cost a lot of money at all. And it's so unique and different. Like, I've never been to someone's house and seen this. So I love it. I'm going to enjoy it until Christmas time, maybe even a little after Christmas time. And so hopefully this was something that you liked. If you did, you can subscribe, like it, leave a comment. Anything like that would be great. And I will see you next time.